Hello, everyone, and a warm welcome to all our attendees. I'm delighted to have you with us today at this webinar hosted by Upskillable, a career development platform where we give insights about your workplace personality, critical skills, and abilities needed to elevate your career using scientifically validated assessments. Now, let me introduce you to our expert speaker for today, Niharika Sharma. She is not just an industrial and organizational psychologist. She is someone with over 6 years of real-world experience in assessments, training, and development. At Upskillable, she is our go-to person for understanding the nitty-gritty of behavioral science and positive organizational changes. Now, let me quickly outline the flow of today's webinar. First, we will start with understanding the National Capability Development Program, NCDP, as achievable goals. Second, defining skills, exploring what exactly constitutes skills in today's fast-paced and competitive professional world. Third, critical skills of an ideal employee, identifying and comprehending the critical skills necessary for success in the contemporary workplace. Fourth, focus on the week, assertiveness and sympathy topic, diving into our highlighted competencies of the week, assertiveness and sympathy. Fifth, dynamic interplay, exploring the dynamic interaction between assertiveness and sympathy in the workplace through practical examples. Sixth, reserving the last 10 minutes for your questions. Niharika will be here to provide insights and guidance. Without further ado, let's hand over the mic to Niharika. Get ready to discover the power of these competencies and how they can boost your self-awareness and confidence. Kickstart your journey to professional success. Niharika, over to you.
Thank you so much, Yasmin, for the lovely introduction and the detailed outline of the program. Without wasting any time, I will quickly share my screen and take you through what we have in store for today's webinar. I hope my screen is visible to everybody. All right. Once again, I extend my very warm welcome to everyone for our first ever event of recurring events dissecting assertiveness and empathy at the workplace. It is our endeavor as an organization to help individuals in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to benefit from the initiatives that the government is currently running to enhance and also and move forward in their ladder of career growth and development. I would first like to address what is actually happening in the industry in Saudi Arabia currently. We all know that the government of Saudi Arabia is investing heavily in terms of time and money in Vision 2030 for the Human Capability Development Program. Now, Human Capability Development Program is a mammoth initiative with multiple policies, multiple initiatives working to help people enhance and develop their career. As a member of the IO industrial organizational fraternity, I will encapsulate it in 2 words for you: enhanced productivity. So through the Human Capability Development Program, the government of Saudi Arabia is aiming at enhanced productivity for individuals, for teams, for organizations, which will ultimately culminate into enhanced productivity of the economy as a whole. How is the government planning to reach this level of enhanced productivity? For today's webinar, we are going to focus on 3 actionable and achievable goals. Goal number 1, enhanced workforce capabilities through training programs, where the goal is to implement comprehensive training and skills development initiatives to empower the Saudi workforce, equipping them with the necessary skills for professional growth and increased productivity. Second goal, strategic investment in human capital for economic growth. Strategically invest in human capital to fuel economic growth by cultivating a skilled and motivated workforce. Number 3, technology-driven learning for skill advancement, where the goal is to harness the power of technology to elevate learning and skill development. This includes the promotion of e-learning platforms, encouragement of modern educational technologies, and integration of digital skills. Now we understand what's happening in the industry, what the government is focusing at to have enhanced productivity. through these achievable goals. And I also want all of us to understand that there is an undercurrent, a theme that is consistent in these goals, which is skills, necessary skills for professional growth, skilled and motivated workforce, elevate learning and skill development, which makes it very important for us to, first of all, understand what is a skill. Skill. The term skill may be defined as proficiency, facility, or dexterity that is acquired or developed through training and experience. Now, universally, skills are divided into two: soft skills and hard skills. Soft skills for us are transferable skills. I will take my soft skills to whichever job, whichever organization I'm working with. My soft skills can be communication skills, my leadership qualities, the way I manage stress. Hard skills are very specific competencies that are needed to perform well in a particular role. For example, for me, as I work as an IO consultant, my hard skills would be understanding of statistics when it comes to human behavior, understanding the nitty-gritties and the scientific background of behavioral sciences. To give you another example, if you are an HR manager, your soft skills again are going to be the way you communicate with others, the way you handle difficult people, the way you handle the workforce. Your hard skills are going to be your understanding of all the HR policies within your organization, understanding the technology or the platform that you use for collaboration within the organization. Now, till here, I hope the theme is clear. We understand what the government is doing. Government of Saudi Arabia is focusing on human capability development through investing in skill development, and we understand what skills are. Now we need to understand what skills do I need to develop to enhance my career, to enhance the efficiency of my team and my organization as well. So here are some of the critical skills an ideal employee in today's dynamic workforce must possess. These are the skills that organizations and recruiters are looking for in people. I'll quickly take you through them. Adaptability, AI literacy, creativity, critical thinking, collaboration, emotional intelligence, resilience, problem solving, communication, sympathy, assertiveness, leadership, agility, innovation, cultural awareness, digital literacy, teamwork, strategic mindset, global perspective, and continuous learning. So these are some of the critical skills that are necessary to thrive in today's dynamic workforce. There are others, definitely others, and for some job roles, you might not need all of them, but these are very, very critical for you to advance in your career. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you why we've highlighted sympathy and assertiveness here. Because our focus for this week are going to be these two competencies, assertiveness and sympathy. This week, why? Because as I've already mentioned, it is in our endeavor to help the people of Saudi Arabia, enhance their career. We are going to help them understand various competencies through our scientifically validated assessments, through our weekly newsletters or weekly emails that we share with them. And we touch base on what are these competencies, why are they important, and how you can inculcate them. The previous 2 weeks, we focused on assertiveness and sympathy. And this week in our webinar, we are going to dissect them for you. Now, let's just quickly touch base on what we've shared in our weekly emails. And for those who are new here, I'll take you through what assertiveness means in the workplace. Assertiveness is to be in charge. Assertiveness is to take a stand, to express opinions clearly, respectfully, honestly, and in a very considerate manner. Assertiveness is to assert boundaries in a not threatening way. Why are we talking about assertiveness? Why is assertiveness important in the workplace? Assertiveness helps with a decisive impact. It accelerates your decision making. Assertiveness brings clarity in communication. Assertive expression fosters transparent communication where you can easily express what are your expectations, your deliverables, your issues that you're facing, and you can easily resolve them. Assertiveness is important for conflict resolution. It enables constructive conflict resolution. Assertiveness is important for influential leadership. Assertive individuals inspire confidence-gaining leadership influence. Now let's move on to what is sympathy. What is sympathy in the workplace? It is to be tender-hearted and compassionate, to be emotionally supportive, not only in the time of crisis, but otherwise also be emotionally supportive, show concern, show care and support to your team members, to your colleagues and the people you work with. Why is sympathy in the workplace important in today's dynamic, ever-changing workplace scenarios? It gives you a positive impact. Sympathy is just a magnet. It attracts all the team members to you, towards you. It makes you a team player. Sympathy enhances teamwork, cultivating a positive environment for collective achievement. I mean, we all want people who are high on sympathy to work. We want to work with those individuals. We want them in our leadership. We want them in our team. Trustworthy leadership. Sympathetic employees foster trust and loyalty, pivotal for career growth and efficient team management. Sympathy for client-centric excellence. Sympathy fosters strong relationships, contributing significantly to client satisfaction. Up until here, we've understood what assertiveness is, what sympathy is, and why are they important in the workplace, how it is going to help you individually, and how it also helps organizations to have individuals who have assertiveness and who have sympathy. Next, we're going to move on to a very, very crucial part of the presentation of our webinar. We are going to talk about the dynamic interplay of assertiveness and sympathy. Wrong notion. And I think up until today, by the time this was addressed, most of us had the same notion. Assertiveness and sympathy are on a spectrum. You can either be assertive or you can either be sympathetic. You can't be both. And this is a very, very wrong notion that we are going to address. To understand the dynamic interplay of assertiveness and sympathy and how impactful it is, let us take the most common example that we must have experienced at some point in our professional life. No matter if you're very seasoned professionals or we've just started our professional journey. I want all of you, all the attendees, to visualize a very recent or any disagreement that you can remember, where people were pitching in ideas and you could not pick up on which idea to act upon or which idea to leave to work on later on, where you had a roadblock you could not regarding the direction of any project, or as simple as what kind of language or language style to use for advertising a product. And I would also like to take this opportunity where I would like to ask the attendees if they could resonate with either of these roadblocks or disagreements they might have experienced, or if they have a different example to share with us where such a situation was faced by them. Anyone from the audience? Yes, Eric.
Yes, I can resonate.
So you also felt that, at some point in our work life, we have this disagreement where we just cannot move forward. All right. Now, as I understand, most of us can resonate with that. I would like you to re-experience that same discussion, that same roadblock. And now, when I will take you through the practical examples of how the right degree of assertiveness and right degree of sympathy can help you address such issues, I want you to all, while I'll take you through these practical examples, imagine that particular team member or you yourself who handled the situation in this manner. Dynamic interplay of assertiveness and sympathy. Assertiveness for action, sympathy for symphony. In such a situation, a person who has the right amount of assertiveness and sympathy will confidently express their perspectives on the direction of the crucial project or the launch of the website or which idea to work on, and despite differing opinions, will acknowledge the concerns and perspectives of their colleagues, will articulate their needs clearly, ensuring all viewpoints are considered and potential challenges are addressed proactively, and will also recognize the emotions and concerns of team members, creating a very supportive atmosphere. Will expedite decision making, allowing the team to move forward swiftly with a well defined strategy, and will also address concerns with empathy and contribute to a positive team dynamic, ensuring a collaborative and motivated workforce. Will navigate differing opinions constructively, preventing prolonged debates and fostering a productive work environment, and will transform conflicts into opportunities for growth, fostering a sense of unity and shared goals. Now, I believe, Eric, you could imagine one individual who stood out and would have addressed the situation with the right amount of assertiveness when required and the right amount of sympathy when required, and helped move forward. Or if there is anyone who has a differing point of view to suggest here or something to add what we are discussing right now, please feel free to share your inputs. Anyone?
I actually have an experience to share.
Please go ahead.
All right. So, the experience, to just encapsulate it was about when I was a part of the team previously, and like you mentioned, to think about an example where there were disagreements that took place. So these disagreements had got to do with an idea that that as an organization we were trying to execute, and due to limited resources and very strict time frame, the entire team could not come to the same goal, and that's why there were a lot of differences as to how everyone saw the idea culminating, and that is why the execution of that idea was something that could not take place. However, when we went through the practical example, it only highlighted the fact that there was assertiveness to a large extent, where demands were made with what was expected out of every employee. However, there was no sympathy as such that was showcased, because of which it was really difficult to kind of meet everyone at the same place. So I can resonate with having an example for thinking of a difference or a disagreement. However, it's very difficult to kind of connect to it because of the lack of sympathy or the lack of understanding and support that was experienced when going through such an instance.
Absolutely. And I wish we had this webinar for your previous team earlier, which also helps us look at a very, very important point here. Assertiveness alone, the blue area, does not help. Sympathy alone does not help. We should learn how to operate in this gray area. How can we do that? By actually using a scientific assessment to understand and gauge what are your assertiveness levels, to understand and gauge how sympathetic you are. And then, based on your results, based on the scientific results of such assessments, you can work on either developing these, enhancing these, or even optimizing these. Thank you so much for that, Shreya. That actually helped us touch base on another point, that people think that you can either only be assertive or only be sympathetic, but actually a dynamic interplay, the gray area here, is where everyone should aim at operating from. Thank you for your contribution again, Shreya. Now this helps me to reach the end or the conclusion part of our brief webinar, where I would like to encapsulate the value points to actually understand the importance of sympathy and assertiveness. Number one, holistic approach. Employees proficient in both assertiveness and sympathy demonstrate a holistic approach to problem solving, showcasing their ability to balance decisiveness and emotional intelligence. Leadership potential. Such individuals stand out as potential leaders who not only drive results, but also build cohesive and motivated teams. Organizational benefit. Organizations promoting skills like sympathy and assertiveness cultivate a work culture that thrives on effective communication, swift decision making, a supportive atmosphere, contributing to a sustained success of the organization and employee satisfaction. Last but not the least, competitive edge. In a dynamic workplace, employees with a blend of assertiveness and sympathy become invaluable assets, providing a competitive edge by ensuring efficient problem solving, team cohesion, and adaptability to change. So these were the 4 points that actually help us understand the value of having the right blend of assertiveness and sympathy. The major practical points, of course, the list is endless. We can keep on going on talking about it. But for now, we have just focused on the practical viewpoints of the competencies of sympathy and assertiveness, and we'll be having other weekly emails where we'll be sharing our insights about more such competencies that are needed, and we will continue hosting these webinars in our endeavor to help the people of Saudi Arabia benefit from the initiatives that the government is currently undertaking for their betterment. Now I would like to open the stage for any question and answers that anyone has from the audience. And I would also like to thank you for being a very patient audience and participating with me throughout. Thank you. The stage is now open for questions, if you have any.
I'd like to comment that it was an amazing webinar.
Thank you.
And the opportunity to see how these two seemingly different traits have such a strong interconnecting space. And now having gone through this, I think I can see that how important it is for the leaders to be both assertive and sympathetic, because just having one, in kind of an imbalance would create an unfavoring dynamic within the team. So thank you very much for this insightful webinar. I really appreciate that.
Thank you, Mirza. Glad you could benefit from that. Yes, Meki? Hi, Meki, you can unmute yourself. I see you've raised your hand.
Thank you, Niharika. That was really insightful. To understand didn't I unmute myself?
No, yeah, we can hear
Hello?
you. Yes.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, Meki.
Perfect. I was saying thank you, Niharika, for this insightful session. Now that we understand the importance of assertiveness and sympathy in the workplace, I think as an employer, how can I understand exactly if my my employees have this kind of skills? I mean, because I hear a lot of people talking about the skills required in the workplace, right? But the most challenging part is that how do I know whether or not they possess the skills?
That is a very good question, Meki, and it will help me address two.
What are...
Yes. Thank you for your question, Meki. It's a good question and will actually help me address two concerns here. In order to understand what skills your employees, your current or potential employees hold, I would recommend, as every organization's expert does, please conduct personality assessments. Now, when I say conduct personality assessment, it certainly does not mean that we go search for free assessments that are available for free. We should do our own homework. Go for assessments which are scientifically validated. Go for assessments that are giving you insights, also in your own language. Understand that if also, sharing this as a field expert, every personality assessment is not suitable for you. I also understand that you're operating from a region of Saudi Arabia. So the assessment, the personality assessment you will employ to understand the skills that your current or future employees have, use assessments that are validated using the pilot study or data from the specific region of Saudi Arabia. You can always use Upskillable's personality assessment. It is one of the assessments that are being highly appreciated by the people who are using it. And I would also invite you to take a look at it. Does that answer your question, Meki?
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Can I add one more question? But I'm seeing some raised hand, but just within the same context, if I may add a question. Sorry for those who are raising their hands. Just one question that is related to the answer. is the personality assessment the only way to know more about the skills of my employees? I
Personality.
mean, should I base my decision on the personality assessment?
All right, I get your question.
And how to do that, actually? I mean, how to read it?
All right. Thank you for the follow-up question, Meki. Not only personality assessments, so another space where I see most of my clients operate from, they think there is only one product that fits all solutions, right? I will just take the personality assessment and it will do the work for me. Use a combination of various assessments. Sit with the expert, consult with the expert, understand the competencies or skills that are important for your organization, for your industry, for the specific job role you're talking about. Once those are identified, then you need to see which all assessments will cater to it. For example, it can be a personality assessment to understand the personality traits, which are relatively stable over time. For your behavior, there'll be another personality assessment, which will give you scientific insights about your personality from that perspective. You can then add to the pool a cognitive assessment that will help you understand the employee's critical thinking abilities, for example. So definitely do not go for a single personality assessment. Consult with the experts. Use a suite of assessments and understand the detailed reports. You can always go back to to the organization from where you are taking the assessment. Understand the details of the reports. Go through the sections. Understand what a particular section is helping you unearth, and then you read about the skills or the competencies and the level of skills and competencies that your employees have. I hope that answered your question, Meki.
Thank you so much.
Most welcome. Anthony, I see you raise your hand.
Yes, thank you very much, Niharika, for the insights you've shared. My question goes, as a leader or as an employer or as a team lead, how do I balance assertiveness with sympathy? On one end, you want to be sympathetic towards the team, but on the other end, you want to establish your ground and ensure that your goals are being met, especially in a business setting. So how do you balance the two so you don't appear too soft and you don't appear too strong?
That's a very good question, Anthony. Thank you for asking the question. I would say begin by identifying. All right. Currently, when you have a certain perception of yourself, you might think that you are a very sympathetic leader, or you might think you're a very assertive leader. I would say break this pattern, right? Take an assessment, identify your current level of assertiveness, identify your current level of sympathy. Now, when you understand where you're at, if you're high, low, or moderate in both of them, and other various competencies that personality assessments tend to gauge, you need to then adjust by either understanding if the particular skill is very low, you need to start developing it. If you understand that your current assertiveness levels are very high, then you need to reduce it a little bit by employing the right kind of training, by employing the right kind of activities that can be undertaken in your organization. Now, training can happen from various parts. It can be a self-directed training where you can dive into expert suggested literature in the form of books, in the form of articles, or you can take up courses that experts recommend, or you can also take coaching and mentoring from the experts. So your question has answers at two levels. Number one, identify your current levels. Number two, take expert advice and take expert help here in order to adjust your level of skills. Does that answer your question, Anthony?
Excellent. Yes, it does. Thank you very much.
Most welcome. Ahmed, I see you've raised your hand. Hi, Ahmed, are you with us? I'll ask you to unmute yourself. Hi, Ahmed. In case you're trying to speak, I see you've raised your hand, but you're on mute. All right. I also saw James had raised his hand. We'll circle back to you, Ahmed, till the time we can address what James had to say.
Yeah, thank you, Niharika. Mine is sort of related to what Anthony asked. So as a leader, is it more favorable, for example, to be more assertive than sympathetic, or my aim should be sort of trying to balance the two?
Thank you for your question, James. And the answer is striking a balance. Balance is harmony, not only for assertiveness and sympathy, but all other, galaxy of personality traits that we also mentioned in our assessment. I'll quickly move back to that slide, which talks about the critical skills of an employee. Here, so we talk about so many skills: adaptability, collaboration, agility, sympathy, assertiveness, resilience. So we should always aim at understanding our current levels and then striking a balance between all. Because if one is present or one is overpowering the other, it can definitely lead to decreased efficiency and accuracy. So harmony would be the answer, James. Always try and strike a balance with the right kind of training. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Ahmed, are you back with us?
Yes, I am with you.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Thank you very much for this interesting, really, webinar. I got a lot of new ideas about it. But what I would like, as a consultant in Berkman assessment, we are speaking about a human. They are not the same level in terms of assertiveness and in terms of the
Sympathy.
People. Because we have two different people. It's extrovert and introvert. So I always ask the leaders, please, if you have a critical job, please do an assessment test before you hire a person. Reason why it is if you need a leader, it's a situational. If you are speaking about a leader in the field, you need action-oriented person. If you need a person in planning or any, he will be not near to assertiveness. No, he will be more into teamwork. So it is situational. My advice, maybe we have some of the audience leaders, please get the test first and compare it with the GD, job description, and compare the two before you sign with a person. That's all what I can. Thank you very much for this webinar. I enjoyed it and I benefited from it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your valuable inputs, and coming from an experienced person like you, 100%. As I said, we need to first identify and understand we are looking for, and I will actually add another layer to it. Sometimes people think they know what they want. Sometimes people think, I know I need someone who's very agile for a particular job role. I would suggest consult with experts in the industry. Benefit from their research, benefit from their experience, consult with them, understand if what you're looking for are the right competencies for that job role, and then always test. And also understand if a current employee does not hold all the skills or the degree of all the skills that you require, they can always be learned, they can always be improved, and you can constantly improve your workforce. Thank you so much for that valuable input, Emma. Anyone else? Thank you. All right. I think with that, we now can successfully conclude our webinar. I would like to thank each one of you for your patience, for your interaction, for your contribution. And as I said, Upskillable has Upskillable will continue putting in efforts in this endeavor and would request you to participate in our webinars, to subscribe to our weekly emails. If you are industry experts, please consult with us, take our assessments, and benefit from the work we are doing. Thank you so much for all your participation. Thank you so much, Ahmed. Over to you, Yasmin, just to formally conclude the webinar.
Thank you, Niharika, for this amazing webinar. And thank you to all attendees for participating and attending this amazing webinar. And stay tuned for our upcoming webinars that sure will be as interesting and as informative. Thank you, everyone. Everyone, have a nice day.
Thank you so much, everyone. Bye-bye.